and this was one of the last few tours that I could find online, so let's go. Good morning. So I'm waking up bright and early today because I'm heading to the Great Ocean Road and I'm doing a little tour. So because I'm on my own, like it doesn't really make sense for me to do a self-drive. So I kind of booked this kind of last minute, like over the weekend, and this was one of the last few tours that I could find online. So let's go. For a tour group, like it's pretty independent. We're just all heading to the boardwalk, but we're not actually walking as a group. So I've always wondered, like, what happens if, I don't know, someone gets lost along the way? Who's gonna contact them? Where are you gonna find them? I have no idea, but oh well, at least we're here. So here we are. You can see the apostles all over there. Trip summary of my Great Ocean Road tour yesterday. We started quite early and we actually hit the 12 Apostles itself first. Like there are some itineraries that reverse different things and you see it last or something like that, so yeah. But there are quite a few common spots that like all the tours go to, so like the gorge, the Gibson Steps, which looked amazing, a lot of the beaches. We went to Kennet River to spot some koalas. Not very easy to spot though, I would say. Yeah, just a couple of the little towns around, as well as the original Great Ocean Road, seeing the memorial, and spotting kangaroos at the end of the day. So overall, I would say it's actually a really nice experience, especially I think if you're traveling on your own, because it's a great way to sort of like meet other travelers. And if you don't drive or you just don't think it's worth the effort, because so I paid $109 Aussie dollars for the day trip, and I was actually considering like maybe I should do like a self-drive itinerary tour, but you know, rental cars and everything, the cost just adds up. And not to mention, it would I would have been on my own. So I mean, it would have been fun still, like figuring out where to go. But also another thing is along the way, like out in the country, there wasn't much reception, like phone reception. Like it kept cutting in and out. So I'm sure, like if you're relying on Google Maps to sort of get around, like I would think that that is pretty nerve wracking to not have signal, and let's say you need to divert for whatever reason and you can't get like the new route loaded. I've never actually really experienced this while driving in Western Australia or New South Wales, like out in the country or outside the sea, but I definitely experienced it on this trip with Great Ocean Road in Victoria. So I'm not sure if it's a unique problem or not, but yeah, that's definitely one thing to know as well. I'm literally heading for breakfast now to meet one of the couples that I met yesterday. So yeah, I think it's a really like great way to sort of meet people and share the experience with other people. So I highly recommend it.